Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Kim inside doing another Victory Sundays. Well, I just pretty much just talk about anything and everything. We're up here pretty much to talk about baseball, hockey, soccer, even football, y'all. Because if you know anything about me, I love sports, y'all. And this is an opportunity for me y'all, just to get out the most raw and uncut filtered version of me. And if you know anything about me, y'all, I just really like to talk about sports, like I said again. And if you've been living under the rock lately, y'all, like the one of the news that been coming up lately, y'all, is the Bayou Baddie. If y'all don't know who the Bayou Baddie is, I mean Bayou Barbie, if I'm not mistaken, the Bayou Barbie, Miss Angela Reese has been traded from the Chicago Sky to the Atlanta Dream. Boy, ain't that a dream? Cause she finally on the East Coast, y'all. But yeah, she been traded to the Atlanta Dream for two first round draft picks and for a second round draft pick swap. And man, like this is exciting, y'all, because she get to go to a place where like she felt like she's enjoying herself because like I just read some reports like where she was just like she wasn't feeling how things was going after she got after her first coach got traded because after the first season, y'all, that was pretty much just like like their record was bad, and then like it was just like like I like the coach, but y'all gonna get rid of him in this one season. But another thing, it was just fit because they had also drafted Cardoso from South Carolina in the same draft pick, and so like it just seemed like things didn't really mesh well. But for the Atlanta Dreams, y'all, I see really big things, y'all, because last year they had a record of 30-14. They got what is her name, Angela Rye, if I'm not mistaken. She averaged 17 points a game. Alicia Gray, she was an Olympic and she won the 3 pointer competition. And I think Brianna Jones, like she had a knee injury, but she averaged 12 points a game herself. But yeah, they forming the big three, and they said Brittany Griner might even come back, just depending on things. But also, like with the collective bargaining agreement, like there's been a lot of free agents and stuff coming back. But they also said like, yo, Chicago wasn't trying to pay her, y'all, because her deal's coming up next year with the new Supermax and the new CBA. So like let's pay the girl, y'all. But at the end of the day, yo, like I'm so glad that she on the East Coast, and I know a lot of guys are glad that she on the East Coast. And I know they're gonna be lined up for the Atlanta Dream games. Hell, you might see me at a Mystics game, give me a number 5 Atlanta Dream jersey just because she is the Dream. And so, like, yeah, I'm excited for it. I hope that she do great because she's been killing it, y'all. Like she's been averaging 14 points a game and 13 rebounds. She's a walking double double. So no matter what, yo, I know she gonna kill it at Atlanta. I know Atlanta gonna kill it because they were 30-14 last year, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna be even better this year with a new big three. And so on to another topic, y'all. Yes, I did last week have a bad take, y'all. I said Arizona's gonna win it. And do I still stand by that? Hell yeah, I still stand by that. But shit, man, you gotta give Michigan their props, yo. Like they've been killing it, and they actually end up winning the national championship. You've been living underneath a rock. They actually won the national championship, 69-63. They ended up beating UConn, who was the team that beat Duke. Yes, I had to bring that shit back up. But yeah, like I said, they ended up beating UConn 69-63. And the team that I actually thought they was going to win the national championship, they beat the hell out of them. They beat the hell out of Arizona. What was it? 91-73 by 18 points. And that game wasn't even close. Shit, it was over in the first 5 minutes. But like overall, like, yo, I just say this, man. Michigan proved that it was a better team throughout the whole season. Yes, they had a down stretch where like in the middle of the season, like where they wasn't as good and they kind of teetered a little bit because like one of the reasons why I didn't pick them was because one, they lost to Duke in DC, and then two, they had lost in the Big Ten championship to Purdue. And those are some of the reasons why I thought like, man, I don't know, I think they had peaked too early. But then like when they got back to the tournament, they got things back rolling. They was actually averaging like the second most points, I think, since like the 1990s, where they averaging at 90 points in the tournament. And outside of the last game against UConn, where UConn slowed the game down and made it a more physical game, they was getting 90 points every game in the dang on tournament. And hell, like I said, 90 points against Arizona, who got a great defense, is pretty damn impressive. So like they was just overall just like a great team, man. And then from top to bottom, man, like one of the things I noticed in the national championship was like, damn, Michigan's a big ass team, and I was like, holy shit! Like they made UConn look pretty small, like and they was physical. And then also Cadeau, hope I'm saying his name right, but he showed up, man. 18 points, won the MVP. Like so, they had not only good big play, but they had good guard play. And in the reference to the to the Hibbert Davis shit again and back to the Tobacco Road shit. God damn. One of the dudes on Cordova Live said, "Fuck UNC." And that just tell you, man, like, yo, like this transfer portal stuff is real. And also, like, you gotta continue like to inspire players to believe in themselves because in this situation, Cordova, he played for a coach that finally believed in him and he ended up getting 18 points in the most pivotal game. And all them 18 points counted because like if it weren't for those 18 points, they don't win that game. If he would have got 10, shit, they would have lost by 2. So like even that, like yo, Michigan showed up. They played, like I said, they was the best team, top down to the bottom. Like they had a good stretch at the beginning of the season. They kind of had a little lull in the middle of the season, but they picked it right back up in the NCAA tournament. And on to the last topic, y'all. If you really been living underneath a rock lately, this topic is really fucking spicy. If you haven't been paying attention, Don Staley and Gino Oriana, they had an altercation in the Final Four at the game, y'all. Gino Ariana was very salty. He was just like saying like the South Carolina girls was fouling him, and that Don Staley was saying some names to the referees and shit. He's just being a straight up hater. Like let's just be real. Like he's just being straight up hater. And the reason why I think that is not only just because he don't like Don Staley, but pretty much I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they didn't expect to lose, and expected to get their ass whooped because when you look at the score, it was 62-48, and like South Carolina was in control of the game the whole entire time, and especially because like when you don't expect to get your ass whooped when you having a 55 game win streak, like shit, do you really expect to lose like that? Nah, but in the fashion that they lost, man, like he felt probably embarrassed, and so like when you embarrassed in those moments like that, what else you gonna do? You gonna try to find every excuse just to say like you didn't lose, and that was what I feel like Gino was doing. He was trying to find reasons why they didn't lose, and reality they did lose. But even that though, I don't think like they expected South Carolina to be that good anyway. Because hell, like South Carolina, no offense to South Carolina, but they did lose in the national championship. What 51-79, if I'm not mistaken, or 51 is it was 51-70 something. But they didn't score a lot of points. And hell, even in the Final Four against UConn, they didn't score a lot of points. But yeah, I just think Gino and them like they was too cocky. They got too arrogant. And when South Carolina put belt to ass, they started fussing and started making excuses. So that's what it is, and I think that shit was a foul move. Why he didn't, even though they did say that he apologized to Don Staley on the phone, but publicly like you didn't even want to say her name. Why is that? And I think that's kind of like a PR stunt, and that's just my opinion. And like I said, I'm gonna get to the raw, unfiltered version of me. And so with all that being said, y'all, this is Kevin Sykes, and I'm out this bitch.